What was our next match? Mr. Anthony?
Was the... don't know if you can call it a match, to be honest. The Annihilator Jordan Samson facing the returning, at that point, Deathmatch Down Under World Deathmatch Champion, the nobody Butcher.
Let's just skip this one. Honestly,
no.
Listen, look, I where do I start?
The guy's a Death Down Under guy because that's all he can do.
Well,
and that's harsh, but it's true. I thought that was an appalling match.
Yeah, that was the worst.
And to have it as a semi-main event was even more baffling.
Yeah. The idea of pro wrestling is to work. Is to make things look like you're hitting somebody hard, but being professional enough not to hit them hard.
Yeah.
And when I am sitting in the ring, and the reason why I no longer wrestle full time or at all now, the main reason is because of concussions. I was literally told not to do it anymore because of the amount of concussions I had. So coming from a person who had concussions and potentially CTE, right, to see these two guys headbutting each other for real, and I'm hearing them clunk their heads.
Right next to us. They came out in the crowd.
Yeah. There was no professionalism at all in how they worked. They were just hitting each other hard. They looked like two winos in an alley.
Yeah.
So there was no professionalism in how they worked. You know, if they were doing all that, looking like they were killing each other and doing it professionally, I would say, well done, guys. But I didn't see anything professional about that performance. Just two guys. Jesus, one checked the other one first up in the match, and the other one's grabbing their shins because they kicked each other too hard. I mean, Jesus, you know, there's got to be some.
There's got to be a line somewhere. We're saying it look real, but how many would there have been without any exaggeration? 15.
Easily.
They were like, I mean, they were right next to us at one point, and you cringed and went over, like because you heard the clunk, like there was no hand up and headbutting, onto the hand, or that was just full on hold the friggin' ears and boof as hard as you can. Those boys will end up with brain damage.
Yeah, so listen, I for their own sake they need to look at that, and if you can't pull a headbutt, you can't, then you need to go back and learn how to wrestle.
Yeah.
You need to go back to wrestling training school and learn how to wrestle, because you ain't going to last too long doing that. If you think it's a sign and badge of merit and a badge of strength, you're wrong, right? Because if you want to hit each other hard for real, go do UFC. Don't do it in a pro wrestling ring where it's designed to be worked. Go and fight for real. If you want to prove
doing it also in the crowd.
Yeah, you want to prove yourself as a real fighter and a tough guy, go do a couple of MMA fights. I'll come and support you. I'll go and watch. Let me know when you're fighting, and I'll go watch. But this whole thing about we're going to hit each other really, really hard, and it's a worked match is ridiculous because there's no validity to what you're doing. It's a jackass moment.
Yes, very good. Yeah, absolutely. It was look. I very rarely go this hard, but it was an absolutely appalling match. I think it was a stain on wrestling.
Yeah.
And doing it in the crowd when there's kids around, and when you're taking legitimate headbutts, like you can't control your body. If you just get one that fraction harder and you stumble, and you're a big guy and you go back on one of the kids or on somebody, or like it's just disaster everywhere.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a wrestling match.
It doesn't make the industry look good.
No, not at all. And probably the less we say about it, the better.
Yeah.
Seriously. That wasn't the match, was it?
No. It was the main event. It was.
But it's dumb.
Yeah, just
it's
better.
Dumb booking. It's dumb promoting. I mean, look, if you book it and promote it and allow them to go out, I mean, the guys are just doing what they probably said to the promoter or the booker they're going to do.
Yeah.
But the amount of shit you open up, the can of worms you open up on so many, and those guys are not going to have long careers.
No, they're going to hurt themselves really, really bad. We see them in 5
their lives in their 40s, 50s, 60s when they're half brain, like what do they call it, punch drunk.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good to see that. So no,
don't do that shit in the wrestling ring. Go do it somewhere else.
If you want to fight for real, and you want to hit people for real and hard and everything else, and get hit hard, go do an UFC fight. Go do an MMA fight. Go do an MMA fight. Go on kickbox. You know, get whatever. But that pro wrestling ring is not for that. We're supposed to be dispelling belief.
Yeah, no.
You know, not hitting each other that hard. So, but anyway, that's enough. Better off said. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.